Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Temur Eldrazi Ramp on the play for game 1. 7 hits off the top for K Command X2. Otherwise, we really don't have any turn 2 playables. I guess actually, no, we have Malevolent Rumble. So 10 hits off the top. Fine, we'll keep. Fine, you've pushed my hand. So close to 20% hit. I mean, even worse comes to worse, like K Command X1 is not the end of the world, depending on what we're up against. Realized that I have an RCQ this weekend. I was like, ooh, I should probably prepare for that and make sure I have some practice in with whatever deck I'm running and with whatever list. I'm going to try today with a Cardinalist list, once again retesting Ancient Stirrings. I'm just gonna pass. We'll draw. There's the E-Temp we were looking for. We'll hold the K Command X2. A little bit worried that this might be Storm, though. Shouting Backstreet would suggest it is not Storm, but instead it is Blink, which does seem to be back on the rise. It does make me question whether or not I do want a K Command here. Because they'll have a... yeah, they have a Felia, clearly. I could just hold the K command and go for an X equals 3 next turn. Might not be a bad idea. Otherwise, we K command X equals 2. We play the Forest. 1. We wouldn't have enough for the K return as follow-up is the only issue. So we wouldn't be able to kick. If we don't kick, then it would have enough for the K return as follow-up and would allow me for the Null Drifter the following turn. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awkward. I'm just gonna hold the K command. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll play Forest. We'll hold. Show me the Felia. Bowmaster. Oh, now that is unexpected. Resolves. Ping. And hold. I mean, having the second K command does mean we can fire off this first one without issue. Would love to see them play something like a Ketramos so we can exile it. Emperor Bones, that's fine. Emperor Bones trigger. You target your bog. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this now. And done. So Bones down, bog out. And pass. We'll take the 2 down to 17. Did you miss your land drop? You did not, but as a tapped land at the very least. Which enchanter to yard? Draw. Sanctum of Ugin. I will kick a Myco spawn. And I will grab an Eldrazi Temple. So now we have a K command, X equals 3 if we need. No attacks. And we hold. We could also just play Ugin next turn, theoretically, though I'm more likely to play the Null Drifter, I think. Them bidding that Witch Enchanter was pretty good for me. Thoughtseize. I mean, either take the Null Drift or you take the K command. The K command is a bit awkward. I'm gonna let that go. They're gonna probably take the K command, which is fine. Not ideal, but fine. Because their idea now would be if they allow me to take the Null Drifter, I'll draw 2, they ping me with the Orcish Bowmaster, yeah. Did you miss your land drop? You did not, but you will have to bolt it, but you don't. Okay. And draw. Cyrus 7 deaths. Cyrus 7 deaths is pretty hard to deal with. Return Ugin to hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Trigger. Trigger. Target Bowmaster. Do you have an Ephem? You do not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna draw a card. So this is a 2-turn clock. I'm gonna pass. And no reason to attack. And we'll pass. And opponent skips it up. Alright, we'll take the win against Blink. You didn't see a Ketramo, so it's not for certain that they have it. Lithomantic Barrage does kill every one of their white creatures, of course. Not sure it's necessary, though, but at the same time, I want to cut Bog. Keep the Ghost Quarter, though. Nature's Claim's not doing much here. See, this is where Consign would be good. I would really like Consign, and with Blink on the rise, maybe Consign will get better. Just that the opening hand data for it kind of sucks. To be fair, the Nature's Claim data also kind of sucks. So maybe we do go back to Consign. Yeah, I think we do go back to Consign. I'm always like flip-flopping between do I play Consign, do I not? It has a ton of relevance and a ton of matchups. Just that the opening hand data just continuously is trending negative. I'll bring in... Well, actually, I guess Nature's Claim is not bad here for the Overlord of Baelmerk. Eh. But it's like very narrow. I'll take the Barrage. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, like I said, I think I'll jump back to Consign after this league. Oh. Yeah, my RCQ, I'm expecting like 50% of the field to be prowess. Hence why I think cutting Karn here makes sense for me. Malevolent Rumble, we're looking for something at the top. We'll play it. Tuck the Null Drift. Avoid a Thoughtseize. Draw. K command looking good. So K command X2 would also be an option. I'll pass. I mean, especially if they hold up 2 mana here, we'll just go K command. Witch Blast Bolt and White. White Orchid Phantom, ETB. I will return the Null Drifter to hand. Yes. For a forest. And pass. And draw. Utopia Sprawl. So Utopia Sprawl is mana neutral then. For red or for blue? We have red in hand, so let's go blue. And Rumble. Ugin or Talismans? The Talismans are kind of awkward as far as the casting window is concerned, so we'll go Ugin. And I will pass. And hold. White. Black. White. So you're gonna flicker us my forest. Yep. Pass and full. I'll take 2 from the White Orchid. Yep. Tempted to exile the White Orchid next turn. Yeah, I think I will try and avoid an Ephem and exile the White Orchid. And we'll pass. So next turn we can play the Ugin, we can play the Null Drifter, we can play Sowing Mycospawn. So it all comes down to what we want to play based on what our opponent presents us. Attack for 3. Yes. Clarion Conqueror. That's actually not as fine as I want it to be. In that case, I will Sowing Mycospawn. Sowing Mycospawn. Probably have 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do think I'm going to Ugin Lab, Imprint, Drift. Play Windswept Teeth and pass. Fetch Arid Mesa for our Shadowy Backstreet. Yep. Keeps it on top. And we'll hold. Overload the Belmerk resolves. There's Emperor Bones, Avid Interrupter. Chooses Avid Interrupter. We'll get hit for 6. Yep, down to 9. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately. White Orchid Phantom, ETB, target lab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll still be able to play Ugin regardless. Target temple's weird. Yes. Forest. End step. Trigger. fetch. Commercial District, trigger. Ancient Stirrings, 2, 3, 6, 7. Might not be bad at this point. In that case, Gemstone Cavern. 7, Ugin, target, Clarion Conqueror. Conqueror down. Draw. Emrakul. 6, 9. We're short. I cannot block, so I will attack. And pass. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. So definitely a good spot. Ugin does present a 2-turn clock, so opponent's going to have to attack it and ignore my life total most likely. I'll say playing the Emrakul right now kind of feels a bit meh. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Or the Belmer. Finds, I guess, Emperor Bones. Either that or the Aven Interrupter might be right. Six, 7, 8, 11, 14, 15, 15, 18. Not enough to play both Emrakul and really ignore my life total. Interesting. Or rather, not ignore my life total, ignoring the Ugin. Trigger, trigger. Draw. In that case, plus Ugin, Sprawl. Sprawl is mana neutral. 4 blue. So that does present an interesting line now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blue. I won't have enough to do all of the above is the only problem. I'm going to start with Ancient Stirrings then. Sowing Mycospawn. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 minus what? 4 would be 12, so I can't do that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, yeah. So I can go Sowing Mycospawn not kicked, right? So in that case, I will cast Sowing Mycospawn. Target. See, I'm kind of worried about an Ephem here. Don't want to give them free value is the problem. I'll target the White Orchid Phantom first. Grab an Eldrazi Temple. Resolve. It resolves. Trigger, target Flicker Wisp. There's the Ephem. No, maybe not. Aven Interrupter? Aven Interrupter. That's fine. I'll still take control of your turn. We'll play the Ghost Quarter, and again, we can't block, so we might as well attack. Down to 10. Recruit the Guard. Can hit, or can fail to find, which might be irrelevant. Let's see. Emperor Bones, we can target something but then immediately adapt. I guess Recruiter we can actually Solitude. No, I mean we can grab the Solitude, but then we don't have any way of actually doing anything with it is the problem. Well, let's start with the Marsh Flats. And Pwn scoops it up. Alright. Yeah, because I think we go here, Marsh Flats fetch, see if they have a Surveil land. We Emperor Bones, we can just exile something and immediately adapt. That way we can just get that option off the board. Even if we didn't do that and we just played Marsh Flats fetch, I mean, Emperor still wouldn't present a lethal line. Because it'd be 4. Yeah, I think we'd be fine regardless. And we could Ghost Quarter, shuffle away something if we need. Yeah, that looks like a decent line, regardless. Alright, solid win against Blink. We'll be back for match number 2. Alright, enter back for match 2 on the play for game 1 against Sven. Hello. Hand is a bit meh, right? Especially if Sven is on their Wizards. Yeah, we don't really have many good plays here. I think we mulligan this. Because we have Ancient Stirring, sure. We have Breeding Pool, we could shock it. We could shock at Ancient Stirring, try and find a soul land. But that won't do much. Like, at most it gives us a Null Drift or Dig for 2, but then it's just kind of meh. So I think we do mulligan this. This does look a bit better, admittedly, though this return is a bit dead, which I don't like. Because we can tuck the Null Drift, or rather probably tuck the Emrakul, as the Emrakul is not doing much in this hand right now. And we're trying to hit K-Command, Malevolent Rumble. So at the very least we have 7 hits there. Yeah, I'll keep this. Pitch. I guess actually no, we want to pitch the Emrakul. Done. Opponent goes down to 5. I'll tuck the Null Drift. And pass. And pass. Draw. Cavernous Souls. Play E-Temp. And pass. Flood Strand. Fetch for Sundering Falls. Surveil trigger. Resolves. Yep. Thundering Falls, not Sundering Falls. Unholy Heat will hold. Perfect Springs, Bolt, and pass. Draw. Malevolent Rumble. This likely will get countered. Spell Snare. Pass. And pass. We'll love to see a Sowing Mycospawn next turn. Draw. Talisman. Cast Talisman. Snapcaster for Spell Snare. So now we want to see a land. Cavern of Souls. Name Eldrazi. And pass. And pass. Flame of the Nord, draws 2. Hit for 2, holds up red and draw. Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Ugin or Lab. You could also just go Commercial District and call it a day. I will go Commercial District. Since we have a red source, Commercial District trigger, Burning Catacombs to yard, and pass. So we'll be able to K-word turn, get rid of the Snapcast next turn. On the Holy Heat, rude. Trainer finds, Preordain, and Screaming Nemesis. Well, that was unexpected. Draw, Gemstone, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, Screaming Nemesis will stop me from gaining life, which is a bit annoying. And pass. Thoughtseize. Unearth Screaming Nemesis. Oh, now that's just rude. Hit you for hit me for 7, down to 1. And Nemesis was a bit unexpected, let alone Unearth. You could hit Cyrus 7 deaths for 7, funny enough. Hits me down to 1. Preordain has been cast. 2 in hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tapped and draw. Temple. Combat. No blocks. E-temp. Return. And 4, 5, 6, 7. Lethal is now on board. And pass. And pass. Alright, let's see it. An Unearth kills me. A Bolt kills me. Another Screaming Nemesis kills me. Snapcast for Unearth. Unearth for a Screaming Nemesis. Yeah, that sure will do it. And on top of which, hasting another card. Another... Okay. Well, that was just a little bit excessive. Let's be real here. Concede. I mean, this is still Wizards, even though Screaming Nemesis and Unearth is here. That's kind of wild, not gonna lie. Okay. So Bog's not bad. Ghost Quarters is not great. Gemstone can get cut. No, I need that Misty, please. Give me that back. Sire might not be great here. I mean, still a good beater. Huh. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe cutting Sire 7 deaths here. Let's run it back like this. Yeah, it definitely is awkward with the Screaming Nemesis. They have 3 at least, if I had to guess. And Grafdigger's Cage will help on the play for game 2. No green sources. 9 hits off the top. 13 hits off the top. We'll keep. Ugin Lab. Imprint. And pass. And pass. Skyline Tarn pass. Burning Catacombs. Fetch. For a forest. Sprawl. For red. And pass. Thundering Falls. And hold. Scaling Tarn. And draw. Lab. Thinking we go Rumble here. Rumble resolves. Emrakul 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We could go Emrakul. We also could go World Break. I think I might also go Writhing Chrysalis. And we'll go Writhing Chrysalis here. E-Temp. And pass. Scaling Tarn fetch. So I'm thinking that they have consigned to memory. That'd be my guess at least. Paying cost for Snapcast. Target's preordained but doesn't have the ability to cast. They could have a Flare of Denial. Preordain resolves. 2 tops or a bottom and draw. And attack for 2. And draw. Sowing Myco. Kick Sowing Myco spawn. Go after your black source. There's Consign. What do you hit with Consign? Do you give me the body or give me the trigger? Give me the body. Play Ugin Lab. No imprint. And pass. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Short 1 on the breaker. So instead we'll play Writhing Chrysalis next turn. Unholy Heat. Target Myco spawn. No. What this? Flame of Anor. Draw 2. Land. And attack for 2. Draw. K-return. Triggers. ETB. I will pass. Fetch Pluto Delta for a red source. Nope. Lounge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Arena of Glory. Screaming Nemesis. Attack. Go to blocks. Block. Sack. Always yield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Resolve. 3. Targets. Targets me down to 12. End step. Return World Breaker to hand. And draw. Null Drift. I should be smart. Trigger 1. Targets. I'm gonna go for the Arena of Glory. Do you have a consign? You do not. Go to combat. Down to 11. Blue, blue for Snapcast. Okay. Target's consigned, but can't cast it. Bobble. Bobble target me. I can present lethal damage next turn. EI. Yeah, if I go Chrysalis instead of Null Drift, we can present lethal damage. Might not be a bad idea. Blue to Delta, yep. Fetch down to 10. Screaming Nemesis. Attack. I'll block up the spawn and sack. To blocks. Sack, trigger, and pass. Bobble trigger, and draw. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. So in that case, what I can do is this. So I'm gonna go red, green, colorless. Triggers. Trigger 1. Trigger 2. K return. Flare. Combat. Down the 5. They need blockers now. Thundertrap Trainer finds what? Consign, okay. Thundertrap Trainer, yep. Finds Flame. Alright. Draw. forest. For blue. I'll hold the green. Draw 2. Paying cost for consign. Hits the draw 2. Hits the return. Go to combat. I mean, they have to block at least 2. Bit awkward. Honestly, I could just hold. There's no reason for me to attack, I don't think. Yeah, they can sign out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're short 1. I guess I could have evoked the Null Drifter, forcing them to block all. That may have not been the wrong idea, actually. Block, block. 7 to me, down to 5. I actually probably should have kept the 1 Writhing Chrysalis back in retrospect. Flame of Anor. Yep. I knew Drift was gonna die. Unearth. Okay. That's only 4 damage, though. Draw. Chrysalis. So, colorless. Triggers. Go to combat. And Bone scoops it up. We'll take the win. Yeah, like I said, I probably should have left the other Chrysalis back in retrospect, but it worked out. Let's go to sideboard. I want the gemstone back. So we'll cut... Okay, I want the Ugin so we can exile. I guess I'll cut an Emrakul here. At the same time, it's not bad. Could cut Breaker. Breaker seems a little bit meh. Yeah, we'll cut Breaker. Run it back like this. Yeah, those Screaming Nemesis are a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. On the draw for game 3, we mulligan. Okay. Keep Pitchback Sanctum. Done. Gemstone. Pitch Verdant Catacombs. Yes. And pass. Bobble. Bobble target me. Target self. Okay. Bobble draw. Land. Forest. Talisman. Do you have a spell snare? The talisman's being used as bait to allow the rumble to resolve next turn. Scouting Tarn Fetch. And Consign. That is fine. So no Spell Snare then. Shock. Thunder Trap Trainer. Flame of the North. Draw. Cage. Attempt to resolve Rumble. Rumble resolves. I'm thinking Chrysalis. Play Lab. No Imprint. Cast Cage and pass. I'm hoping that the Cage will act as bait for that Flame if they have the mana, but doesn't look like they do. Top, bottom, draw, Island. Attacking. Forest. Chrysalis. Do you have another Consign? No Consign. And pass. And pass. Flame is online. Obsidian Charmaw. That is a bit annoying, admittedly. Draw. Windswept Teeth. I do kind of want to... Debating. I could fetch now. I'll fetch now. Fetch for a Stomping Grounds. Shock. And kick the Myco spawn. Target Steam Vents. I'm debating going for an E-Temp. That way, no matter what we draw into, we should be able to resolve it. So yeah, E-Temp. No attacks. Yeah, Cage does stop flashback, funny enough. Six types in yard. Merkle is online. Screaming Nemesis. Attack. Sneaky Reach. Sneaky Reach. Null Drifter. Cast. Do you have a Consign? Triggers. No reason to play the Sanctmugen right now, so I think I just play the Lab. Done. No attacks. Maybe I should have attacked with a Myco in retrospect. Because I do fear the Flame will just hit the Null Drifter here. There's another Charmaw, hits the Temple. Yep. Yeah, we're in an awkward little standoff. Draw. Another Writhing Chrysalis. Writhing Chris. Sanctum of Ugin. I think we just continue to hold. There's Flame. Yes, draw 2, Null Drifter down. 7 types in Yard. No World Breakers, unfortunately. Again, the Grafdiggers does stop Unearth and does stop Flashback, which is nice. Draw. K command. Yeah, I think I just go Scry, Exile. So let's do this. Trigger 1. Always yield. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. K command. Scry, draw, exile. One more. X equals 5. Trigger. Yes. For Emrakul. So Emrakul resolves, Sprawl bottom, Ancient Stirrings is fine, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, bottom of the pool, top, I'm gonna say, bottom Rumble, top Stirrings, top Temple, and draw. And pass. Oh, I should have attacked. Jesus. Should have at least attacked with the crystal, with the 6/7 Chrysalis, I'd say. Four. Who in the fresh hell are you? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're gonna clear board, even if you consign Emrakul's trigger. Not a good place for it to be in. A black human wizard. I guess that explains the black source. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 'Tis an Emrakul. And opponent scoops it up. We'll take the win. Alright, not bad at all. Yeah, the Screaming Nemesis, definitely some interesting tech. I'll be interested to see where that goes going forward. But that being said, we'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. So it's a turn 3 Chrysalis into a turn 4 Mycospawn. I'll keep it. It's not my favorite hand in the world, but it is workable. Hits off the top include, but are not limited to, Malevolent Rumble, Ancients. Yeah, I'll take the Ancient Stirrings. For once I said that. Take the Ancient Stirrings. What? Flooded Strand, pass. play E-Temp. Attempt to resolve stirrings. I will grab the E-Temp or the Breaker. Let's go E-Temp. Any order, pass. Next turn, we're going to be going with the Writhing Chrysalis into Sire 7 Death, unless something demonstrates otherwise, or reason otherwise. Looking like it could be Murktide. And hold. Actually, there's no reason to hold. We'll just pass it. Fetch Marsh Flats is a Froge. Shock. Tis a Froge. Alright, so we're in the clear for Chrysalis then. Draw. Ugin. Ugin's interesting to me. Fetch. For a forest. And pass. And hold. So it's between Sire and Mycospawn next turn. Undercity Sewers, trigger. If they give me an open window, I'm going to play Sire. Interesting. Draw, E-Temp. In that case, we're going Mycospawn. Get rid of the sewers. Paying cost for counterspell? Black. So likely a fatal push then. Likely hit the Chrysalis. Yep. So Froge will be able to attack. I'll go Cavern of Souls in that case. Name Eldrazi. And pass. And hold. I'd actually go Bog next turn unless they empty their yard themselves. Okay, pitches on Earth, so that tells me this is Oculus. Floats the frog. Hits with Froge. Yes, that will resolve. Down to 17. Draw a card. Second main. Pitch with Oculus. Marsh Flats fetch. For an Unearth, I'd imagine. There's the Unearth. You could still have a counter spell up. Abhorrent Oculus. Null Drift. In that case, I will Bajuka Bog, target you. Five, 6, 7. Sire's 7 deaths. And hold. Combat. I mean, if you want to kill the Sire with the Frog, you would quite literally have to pitch your entire hand. Okay, I was about to say. Doubtful of that happening. Trigger. Draw. Rumble. Rumble? Talisman or Sprawl? I'll grab the Talisman. So 6. Misty Rain, fetch 7. I guess I could have, or should have grabbed the Sprawl in retrospect. At least it would have been mana neutral. My thought behind the Talisman is I can get this Ugin to resolve, then we'll be in a pretty good spot. We'll pass. No attacks. We're kind of just in a holding pattern right now. I'm waiting for them to make a move. Pitch a frog. Pitch a frog. I mean, now I have 11 power on board, so they really don't want to attack with that frog. Next turn we can just World Break. Shoot the Sheriff. Ward 7. Down to 8. I have to be careful here. Do you flip the frog? You flip the frog. I want to give you an extra card. Probably not. Attack. Attack. I'll take the 5 from the Oculus. We'll go to blocks. Block. Down to 11. And Oculus trigger. Lab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can make that work. So I'm trying to think here. 3, 4, 5, or 4, 1, 2, 3. On 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Yes. Ugin. Ugin target. Resolves. I'm thinking we could just plus and start the clock. And we could Talisman instead, but no, we'll just go 0. And then oh, I need to be smarter about this because I definitely tapped that for white. I should have probably played the Ugin's Lab beforehand. Ugin, target, World Breaker, target. And lab, trigger, done. Pass. No attacks, and pass. And opponent skips it up. Alright, we'll take the win. On to sideboard, we'll bring in Grafdigger's Cage and Lithomantic Barrage. We can cut the Ghost Quarter. What else do we cut is the question. I can cut 2 7-minute value spells, but I still need to cut a bit more than after. Cut Chrysalis. I'm thinking Drift and Ugin. I usually bring in Nihil Spellbomb. Yeah, let's keep it like this then. Like I said, Cage will help with Oculus, doing Oculus things, at least with Unearth. And then everything else should be good. Interesting. I will keep. I will pass. Surveil trigger. Keeps it on top. Draw. Another command. Really need a temple here. And pass. And pass. Auto Grave Shock for a Throge. Draw. Sire. Breeding Pool. Shock. Sprawl. For red or for green? I'm gonna go green here. Rumble. Temple. And pass. And hold. Worst case scenario here is a Harbinger, but they would have fetched for a Swamp. There's an Oculus. There's an Earth. 4, so 4, 5, 7. Floats the Frog. My concern here is Consigned to Memory. Picture the Thought Scour. A little bit worried about Consign. Trigger. A lab. So my thoughts here are we have Temple. We could just try and Windmill Slam the Sire, but I think that's incorrect. I think instead what I want to do is cast Sowing Mycospawn non-kicked. Do you have a Consign? No Consign. I'm gonna go Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. I'm gonna force check now. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna scry draw instead of ramp. And done. Throws down. Consider their options, looking for a force. I'm gonna go K command top, World Breaker top. And pass. And pass. We'll take the 5, but that's fine. Even if they have a Harbinger here, we can still play the World Breaker, which they do have a Harbinger after all. Again, consign would be a problem, however. Trigger. Draw. So we could go World Breaker, hit their swamp. Or I could go Sire. Let's see if they have the consign. Subtlety. And I'll put it on top. Spell Snare. No attacks. And pass. I mean, that's only 9, so I'm not dead yet. 5, down to 5. Question of the day becomes, do you have an answer for the Sire? Alright, let's see it. Paying cost for counterspell, you got it. I'll concede. Loss for game 2. Rough. Let's get a sideboard. I will cut the gemstone, and I think bring back in a Writhing Chrysalis. Unfortunate is what that was. Yeah, if they'd had the subtlety, we were definitely in a good position. On the play for game 3. I'll keep. They have a strange hand. Misty Rainforest, fetch. Forest. Stirrings. You could go Cavernous Souls, but I think I go World Breaker. And pass. And pass. Draw. Sire. Ugin Lab. Imprint. Cast. You have a Spell Snare. Looks like you do. Unless you have a consign and use that instead. Yeah, that's fine. And pass. I wonder if maybe sequencing the talisman first is wrong. Lithomantic Barrage. Malevolent Rumble. I'm gonna go Windswept Teeth. Windswept Teeth. Fetch. For a Stomping Grounds, Shock. And Rumble again. There's a Grafdigger's Cage. That is tempting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the same time, I kind of want to resolve this Sire. Yeah, we'll go... I think I can still go Cage. Yeah, I'll go Cage, but I'm not going to play it this turn. I'm going to pass. I guess I should hold on the off chance they have a Bowmast. Fetch. Island. Which tells me they don't have Harbinger, but there's the Harbinger now. Thought Scour again, looking for Oculus. Could also just trying to play an Oculus, right? So they could bring back the Harbinger, but it would cut them out of black. Unearth the Harbinger is fine. Double blue, Null Drift. So we're gonna try for the Sire first. Oh, actually we're short, aren't we? Yeah, we're short 1. So in that case, go 1, 2, 3. Draw 2. Do you have a consign? Consign the memory, hits the draw, and hits the return. Evoke, Cage, and pass. So we need a land off top is what I need. Plays Marsh Flats. Paying cost for a big ol' Merc. It is an 8/8, which is a problem. Draw, land, K return. K return's a bit awkward is the only problem. Not to mention I can't cast it, so never mind. Pass. That's 10 damage we're looking at. And pass. Yeah, I guess maybe I should have gone for the Sanctum in case the Harbinger. In retrospect. Draw. You have to be joking me. Yep, we concede. Yeah, that's on me for miscalculating there. I should have played it safe and grabbed the Sanctum of Ugin. That way I would have had 7. I was thinking, well, I'll have 7 if they play the Oculus, not thinking about what if they play the Harbinger, right? So that was on me. If I had done that, then maybe we would have been somewhere. Would have been able to play a Sire last turn, then a Sire this turn. Would have been able to cast the Null Drift. I guess not Sire this turn, because if they had the Counterspell or Consign, then it is what it is. Alright, unfortunate. I also thought that maybe I should have played the Grafdigger's Cage earlier. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think the real mistake was grabbing the Grafdiggers, not the Sanctum. So I want to say that was the misplay there. But that said, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. Well, let's see, we have 9 hits for green, another 3 for temples. We'll keep it. We can cycle the K command if we don't draw into anything. Lotus Bloom, so Belcher, yep. What a time not to be playing Karn. E-temp. I'm gonna cast this now to avoid a flare. And just draw. That's rough. And we had 12 hits. And pass. I guess only 12 ideal hits, but we had like any number of lands we could have hit as well. There's Falaji. There's Belcher. Draw. Temp, of course. Pass. And at least we had our land drop, but we're in a bad position regardless. I'm trying to think how we get out of this, or even if we can. Depends on whether or not they have more lands. If they have 2 more lands, then we're just dead next turn. Land number 1. Tameshi. Okay, so we're super dead next turn. Draw. Sire, we concede. Yep. And, I mean, we tried to play the numbers played us. This is Belcher. Lost for game 1. Another good example where consign would be good. Okay, return's not doing much in this matchup. We can cut Gemstone. We want the Ghost Quarter. We can bring in Lithomantic Barrage for Tameshi. And some number of Trinispheres? No, actually, I'll bring in Flute. Yeah, we'll bring in Flute and cut Sire. Run it back. Yeah, I'm also, as I'm thinking back to the question of should I have played last game, should I have played the Talisman or Rumble? I think maybe playing the Rumble would have been better because both get by Spell Snare, but the Talisman gets hit by Consign, and so it's less likely it's more likely for me to resolve the spell if I would have went Rumble rather than Talisman. So maybe I'm right to do that. And looks like our opponent may have disconnected, so we'll return once they're back. Alright, and we're back for game 2 on the play for game 1. I'll keep. This allows us to go for Mycospawn into a Ghost Quarter. So I think we'll keep this. We can draw into another Mycospawn. That would be bad. Also realizing the opponent hasn't rejoined, I don't think. Let's see, did they? It didn't say if they did. But then again, for some reason, the message that said that they disconnected is no longer there, so I'm not sure. So I'm gonna say they aren't back yet, and we'll return if and when they do. Alright, we're back for real this time. Uggin's Lab. Imprint. Cast Talisman and pass. Does Talisman resolve? It does not. It gets it by a force. That is rough. We'll pass. And draw. Malevolent Rumble. Stomping Grounds. Shock. Malevolent Rumble. I'm gonna go with Ugin because it opens me up to more potential lines for a kicked Mycospawn next turn. Because we draw into a... Now we have 7 hits off the top for a lab and for temple, would be my thought. Bolt. Flagi. Razor Grass. So they grab the Razor Grass. Yep. And draw. Sprawl. So I'm thinking we go Commercial District. Trigger. Barrage to Yard. On one hand, I do want to play the Mycospawn for a Ghost Quarter. On the other hand, I'm thinking about going Utopia Sprawl so we can kick the Mycospawn next turn. We will go with green. And pass. So now we need to kind of hope that they don't have a whir is the only problem. Because if they have a whir, then we might be in trouble. I guess maybe that's one argument to have going Mycospawn into Ghost Quarter because they have a basic mountain. Then they wouldn't be able to whir. Plays Archive, so no whir. That's good. Draw. Temple. Kick Sowing Mycospawn. We'll kick the Seagate Reborn. Do you have Consign to Memory? No Consign. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if you brought in a basic. But first, I'm gonna barrage you. Let's go to your draw step. Draw, Ghost Quarter, target Plaza. Pass. They do use the ability, but they fail to find. Okay, well we set them back pretty significantly. There's the Springs. Tapped. And draw. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In that case, actually, I'm wondering if Emrakul is correct here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See, my thought here is, I guess Emrakul would be lethal damage, because they're going to be down to 14. Yeah. Do you have a Consign? And Bone scoops it up. We'll take the win. All right, well, we're going to game number 3. Let's take a look. Bring back in the gemstone, and I'm gonna say cut. Maybe cut the drifter or cut the Emrakul. I mean, drifter can help us dig. But Emrakul can finish. I also just wonder maybe cutting the Ugins right. Or also Sire. Sire's also kind of rough here. Because we traditionally just don't win on combat. We need to interact a lot. Yeah, moments like this is where I still kind of go, well, I wish I had Karn. Right? And that's the thing about Karn, it does like cover enough angles. And this is interesting hand. I will keep reveal, pitch, and pass. I'd love to see a soul land off the top. Lotus Bloom. Malevolent Rumble. Let's go E-Temp. And pass. 4 types in yard. And pass. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And passing. Another command. I'm thinking we go command here because it go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, let's do that. No attacks. Lotus Bloom trigger. So yeah, I do want to cast and resolve this command. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Trainer. In response. And done. Consign. Consign. Pass. So what do I need off the top now? I mean, I guess another temple would work. So now we're short 2. Okay. Trigger. I don't think I want to resolve this. I'm gonna say no. So we have Lotus Bloom. Tameshi Harbinger. Can I kill them with their own deck? Is that a thing I can do? Yeah, right? Because I should be able to Lotus Bloom trigger. So with this, I'll have 6. 3. So 3, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14. Yeah, it's more than enough. So on the stack, cast. Go to draw. Go to main. So we cast Tameshi. White. Tameshi. Target. White. And then opponent sees that I see the line and concedes. Alright, Oracle got there. Good stuff. In that case, we will be back for match number 5? Number 5? I was like, are we on 3? Are we on 4? No, we're on 5. We'll be back for match 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the play for game 1. That's a mulligan. We can keep this. Pitch Adrift. Done. Verdant Catacombs. Fetch. For a forest. Sprawl. For red. And pass. And pass. Would love to see a soul land off the top. So this looks like Baskin Brood Scale. And draw, Breeding Pool, Talisman, Breeding Pool tapped. Again, would love to see a soul land off the top. And pass. There's the temple and a flesh rake. Eight hits off the top. Nope, 'tis a whiff. I could go Ghost Quarter. Trying to think here. Might not be the worst idea. So go Cavernous Soul, name Eldrazi, play Talisman, and cast Sowing Mycospawn. I will grab Ghost Quarter and Ghost Quarter Temp and pass. This way will be just a little bit harder for them to try and combo off next turn. Grab some mountain. Oh, interesting. This could be aggro. Basic mountain would not normally be in Brood Scale. Yeah, this looks like it's aggro with Line Break. Wayscape. Alright. That is a wee bit unfortunate. Alright, so it's Eldrazi Aggro. Good to know. Let's see a temple. Misty Rain. I will Null Drift. mean, that is a clean sweep there. Misty Rain, fetch, forest, sprawl, for red, K return, and combat. Down to 16 and pass. I would love to see a 7-mana value spell off the top here. Also, I guess there's a thought that maybe I shouldn't have attacked with a Myco Spawn. Maybe I should have held back in case of a line break here. Though I feel like they have a line break, they would have played it last turn instead of the Wasescape. At least that's my initial thought. White mana. Hit that Heralds. Okay. And Malevolent Rumble? Probably not. Draw. World Break. Go to combat. World Breaker. World Breaker will target the Cavernous Souls. And Bone scoops it up. We'll take the one. Yeah, definitely was sweating there for a bit when I considered that this was Brood Scale. Let's see. Not too much to bring in or out here, unfortunately. Lithomantic Barrage isn't doing anything. Flute, I can delay, but it's not great. Cage is not doing anything. Nature's Claim or Force aren't. I guess you could argue Trinisphere, but not really. Yeah, let me just run it back as is then. I'm trying to remember what I normally take in or out here. I guess normally I'd take out Karn and just throw in the Trinisphere because why not? I mean, there is a world where this is not bad. I'll keep it. We have a decent number of hits off the top. I mean, any land will do for a Myco spawn. But a green source would be fantastic. And draw. Emrakul's not it. I'm actually going to tuck the Emrakul. And pass. Again, any untapped land here. We should have 22 in deck, 21 hits off the top, but would love to see specifically 9 of them. Passing. Draw. I'll take it. Cast Myco Spawn. I would consider going Forest. I mean, if they have the Wastegate Battle Mage, they have the Wastegate Battle Mage, right? So maybe we do just go Forest, then Sprawl for red. Yeah, let's do that. We have the 7 next turn for the World Break. Otherwise, if they do hit the Talisman and not the Sprawl, we can Writhing Caress. And if they hit the Sprawl and the Talisman, we can always dig with Null Drift. Yep, looking like a Wastecape if I had to guess. Paying cost. And Flesh Rake. Yep, that's fine then. Draw. Utopia Sprawl. Mana neutral. And we'll go... I think we go red again. World Break. Hit the Cavern. Attack the Mycospawn. And Spawn's just going to scoop it up immediately. Yeah, if Eldrazi Aggro doesn't have a good start, it's pretty rough for them in this matchup, so that felt pretty solid. I do think I'm going to make some changes again to the list. I have just to decide whether or not I want to play a Karn version or not. Yeah, it's hard for me to say. Because, like, Karn will protect me from, like, the Basking Brute Scales of the world and the... whatchamacallit, Belchers of the world. And to be fair, as far as like the sideboard's concerned, there isn't like too many differences. The main difference would be... what would it be? We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 slots taken up, I think, between Tormod's Crypt, Chalice of the Void, Liquid Metal Coating, and Engineered Explosives. So that'd be 4 there. And then if we wanted to go for Consigned Memory, I guess we'd have to free up a few more slots. I do like the Flutes, I like the Trinospheres. I'm not sure about the Claims or the Force of Vigor, and the Barrages are limited. I'm not sure about the barrages either. Sometimes they can be really good. Sometimes they can be really meh. I haven't seen Affinity as much anymore either, so I wondered if maybe dropping the barrage back for Dismember might be fine, because Dismember does have more applications. So there are some considerations there as well. But with that being said, that was a solid league. 4-1 at the end of 5. Our only loss was to Oculus, and I think I could have played that match a bit better. 2 mistakes I want to say I made. I think I should have played the Malevolent Rumble on 2 instead of the Lab, or instead of the Talisman. Reason there being is there are fewer things that would have countered the Rumble in comparison, and we would have then been able to play the Talisman later. And then grabbing the Grafdigger's Cage instead of the Sanctum of Ugin, just not considering if they were to unearth the Harbinger, how it'd kind of be SOL there. So a little bit of a mistake on my end there. I should have grabbed the Sanctum, and that would have allowed me to eventually cast the Sire. Now, it would have been a bit late, probably. Do I think it wouldn't have mattered? It's hard to say, but I do fear that it probably wouldn't have. But of course, a mistake is a mistake, especially as we don't know the contents of our opponent's hand. But otherwise, solid wins. Cannot complain with the results of the league. That being said, that there will be the end of today's video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. It is always appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. At that point, I'll be able to start monetizing these videos, which will allow me to start saving up towards a stream PC so I can stream live over on Twitch. In the meantime though, if you do enjoy my content and want to support me monetarily, you can do so over my Patreon, where you can get early access to my YouTube videos and any updates I make to my deck guides. That being said, I'll see y'all guys next time. Bye bye!